like just working on vocals, Juice World, Rod Wave, and it's a couple more people in there. It's a couple more people.
I'm finna be hitting new tagline. Hey Jay, that's Major. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I love you, Equinox.
Yo, we back, man. You know what I'm saying? Episode number 9 for The Real Understands Everything, aka True Talk. Today we back at it with another guest, another major guest. You know what I'm saying? Hey, double entendre right there, man.
Yeah.
We got Jae Major in the house. You know, he's a self-made entrepreneur, a streamer, one of the best people I know on Call of Duty personally. He also, man, is a producer out in Atlanta, so you know he's working with artists. So many to name. You know what I'm saying? Currently, he's oh my God, he was just on a live stream with Reggie. You know what I'm saying? Hurricane. What's Hurricane? What is that guy name?
Wisdom.
Hurricane Wisdom, man. You know, you know what I'm saying? My dog, he do it all, man. You know what I'm saying? Producer, engineer. He, like I said, streamer. So yeah, man, y'all give it up for Jay, man. We, you know, side note, y'all call him Jae Major. I know him by Luan, but you know, we're gonna respect Jae Major today, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Keep that,
yeah. But man, what's tell the people what's new, man. Let me give a little backstory. You know, we went to high school together, obviously played football, been knowing Jay.
Yeah.
Look.
We was rivals back then.
Yeah, man. I'm talking about Pee-wee football.
Man, what? Hated y'all. Y'all really cheated us that year, man.
Hey, listen. Hey, we was the GOAT though. You know what I'm saying? We won when it mattered. You know what I'm saying? But fun fact, my dog is actually from. Everybody know. You know what I'm saying? If you've been tuning in, that I currently reside in Dallas, Texas. I think Jae Major is originally you're from Dallas, Texas, or you just from Texas?
I was born in Dallas.
Okay, yeah. So that boy's a Dallas star, you know what I'm saying?
What?
So yeah, we met during Pee-wee football. Come out there, we like, who this little short light skinned cat, man? Dude coming out there fearless, man. I'm talking about, he was out there, and we stayed like that all the way up until high school. I think he ended up moving schools at some point during high school. And now, you know, you look up, he started doing music. This ain't something that just random. Locker room freestyles, I'm telling you. I seen it firsthand, you know what I'm saying? We've had a little sessions. So it's good to see that you continue that path, man. So let me ask you, you know, with you being on the music industry now, who were your influence? Like, how did you get to where you are when it comes to music? Like, what influenced you to stick with that?
Honestly, I want to say myself, really, because like when I was going to school, when I was going to college, I actually took a studio down to college. So I bought, like, I saved up my little money, my little, 9 to 5 hours work. It took a studio to college, and I was just down in my dorm room just recording. You know what I'm saying? Recording people. And I really was, BSing on the school part. Eventually I dropped out. I was like, man, I think music is for me. I want to say myself is like my biggest motivation. But if I have to put a name on it, like as far as somebody else, I would say Kendrick Lamar. He kind of like helped me gain my first like love for music when it came to like listening to other artists. So big shout out to K-Dot, you know what I'm saying? So.
What is it about Kendrick specifically that gives you that motivation or that gives you that knack for wanting to do music? What about him specifically?
He was different from what we was hearing in Atlanta. So like, on the east, you feel me? Like on the east side, we was hearing like a lot of like club music, Gucci, Future. When I heard Kendrick, it was a whole different like type of music. I'm like, whoa, what is it? Where this guy come from? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it kind of like hit me because it's in my roots. Like my grandma, she was born in Cali. So, and I'm really close to my grandma. So like, I was just like, I don't know. I feel a connection to this guy. You know what I'm saying? And then I was just locked in with him ever since.
Nah, I feel that. That's dope as hell.
So, I mean, it goes without saying, you know what I'm saying? I know who you rocking with on the Drake versus Kendrick.
Yeah. Hey, look. My girl woke up this morning. She said, "Siri, play Drake." I said, "We not starting that this morning. We not listening to none of that this morning, man." Big
Oh,
Kendrick
man.
fan. Big, you know what I'm saying? I rock with Drake though. Drake is hard, you know. But if I had to
Yeah.
choose sides, yeah, I'm gonna go with my
Okay.
boy K Dot.
So
For sure.
I'm a bookmark a little bit of the music right quick because we're gonna get back into that.
Okay.
Like I said, I know you're a busy man. You know what I'm saying? You got some sessions lined up tonight. But
Yeah.
streaming. A lot of people, if they don't know you for music, they've known you for streaming when it comes to playing games. Where did that come from? Have you always just been good at games, or was something you just got into when you got older?
Yeah, man. I always just been like good at games, and you know what I'm saying. Having older brothers, you playing with them all the time and stuff like that. And I'm the
Right.
youngest, so
Yeah.
I just learned everything from them. And they just be like, "Man, how you gonna outgrow me? How you gonna, outdo me? You the young one, you know what I'm saying?" So I
Yeah.
feel like shout out to my older brothers, you know what I'm saying.
A lot of
They really
money.
put me on video games and stuff like that. So
Yes, sir.
Man.
Shout out to them.
Yeah,
and then
hey,
like with the
listen.
streaming was just like, we're making money. So I'm like, hey, I might as well try to, stream, try to make some money while I'm playing the game and stuff like that. So
Facts.
I kind of got like, a little stuff going on with the streaming and stuff like that.
Mm.
It ain't pop like, the music did, but the gaming stuff
Yeah.
was still good. I met a lot of people through the gaming stuff. So.
Oh yeah, I finna say, man, I seen you on. You was online playing online with a couple people, like some guys in the NFL. I remember they were hosting some kind of tournament.
Yeah, man. I was
Online.
I actually, got signed to this gaming squad with Preston Smith. He used to play for the Packers. He was
Oh,
playing
I
for
know
the
Yeah.
Preston.
Philadelphia.
Yeah,
Oh
I
yeah.
know some
Yeah.
guys. Yeah, I know
Yeah,
Preston.
Antonio Gibson found me. So like Antonio Gibson had seen one of my little posts on IG.
Mm-hmm.
He had tapped in with me and then plugged me in with Preston. So shout out to AG, shout out, P. Them boys really, piped me up for a minute. Like I was going crazy on the gaming scene. And then they put me in Sauce Gardner. He had a
Mm-hmm.
tourney for 10K. So
Mm-hmm.
I was in there with the best of the best, man. The best of the best.
Man, gaming is crazy. I've been y'all.
Crazy.
Let me tell y'all something. Y'all know how long I've been trying to get on the game. You see, Mr. Major here, man. But one day I was on Call of Duty. I'm looking at KDRs. When you on the game, you playing with folks, you gonna see if they really like that.
Yeah.
I go and pull up, bro, KDR. I'm like, I ain't getting on with him.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
see, when you get on with somebody that KDR look like that, you got to play against the other folks who KDR look like
Yep,
that. I'm
yep,
like,
yep,
nah,
yep, yep.
nah, you ain't finna mess my rating up, brother.
Yeah. He would be like, man, this got to be major lobbies. I'll be like, hey.
Man, that's dope, man. So let's pivot back into the music scene. So what I wanted to know, like, I see at some point you had got signed. I remember it's been about 3-4 years ago now. Take me through that process. Like, are you still signed currently, or are you back independent? Like, what does that look like now?
Yeah, I'm currently just independent. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Really just, doing my own thing. I really ain't even being an artist right now. I'm being more of a, you know what I'm saying, like entrepreneur, engineer, just trying to grow my business and establish more networks. But when I
Facts.
first was like, when I was going harder in my artistry, I was, you know what I'm saying, I had got signed to an investment company. And
Mhm,
they actually took me to the big labels and stuff like that.
mhm.
And I really just didn't rock with the big labels. Like they
Yeah,
try to do a little bit too much, control you, tell you do this, tell you do that. We gonna rock
yeah.
with you like that. And actually the name Jae Major came from the big labels. So I was going by my middle name, Darion at the time.
Mhm.
And the big labels, we had a meeting and they was like, nah, you gotta change your name. Like we ain't rocking with your name. And I'm like, this the first thing they talking to me about. And I'm like, what? Like, change my
Mhm.
name.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm
Mhm.
like, okay. And then like they started talking about like, we want you to act like this person. We feel like you'll be a great your personality can, match how this person in the industry is moving. So we want you to kind of mimic what they doing and stuff like that. So I was like, dang, they want to change my whole persona, like just completely wipe out what I had going on and just, you know what I'm saying? So I
Right.
ended up signing with the investment company instead of signing with the big label.
Okay. That's dope. So
That's
like,
crazy. You hear my bad, I didn't mean to cut you off,
no,
Eli.
you good, bro. Go ahead.
But that's crazy that you hear stories like that from, watching like various artists on like, podcasts and whatnot talk about this, but to actually have you on and for you to say that, hey,
Mm-hmm.
that's crazy that they controlling the industry like that.
Yes,
So
sir.
honestly, it just puts things into perspective of like the way the industry, how they rock.
I mean, you
It's
can look at examples with Drake and Lucian Grange and all of them. Like
mm-hmm,
the for years and years, you hear artists step out and talk about how much power the artist has power over the people,
mm-hmm,
but usually the label, so to speak, will have power over that artist and what they do, and they can make and break. You know what I'm saying? Like you can be as
yeah,
talented as ever, but we had a guy on our last episode who's a artist, Riley Crunch. Shout out to Riley.
Facts.
But something he said that was powerful is about money and connections, when especially in the
Yep.
music industry. And with the right connections, you can get blackballed. Just like football, we all seen it all the time. I personally watch guys get blackballed in football. It don't get talked about enough, but it happened. I mean, Shedeur Sanders, the world watched that happen. There was no
Facts.
reason, love him or hate him, there's no reason bro should have fell out of the first round.
Yeah.
Just based off of a talent standpoint, because you're drafting people off of potential of what you hope they can be and the talent that you already see. So like like Mike said, it's powerful to hear you come on and say that, because a lot of people shy away from it. They don't be as honest, but this is true talk. We keep it
Yeah.
real and raw. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So so yeah, man, that's dope. So with the producing side of things, like was you self made? Because I know my brother, the man, you know what I'm saying, young guy, he's a producer. He venturing into artistry, picked up, got signed along the way. But I remember him working on beats a long time ago. So he was like, self made when it came to beats. Nobody really showed him outside of showing him what Pro Tools was. Did you ever have somebody to help? You know what I'm saying? I know you said your brothers played a major influence in certain things. Were you like, when it came to making beats, was that something you just kind of taught yourself? Or did you kind of have somebody kind of show you the ropes a little bit and then you just picked up on it real quick?
Yeah. So like really like I'm not really into like the beat aspect of it. I'm more into like the technical mixing side. Like
Okay.
let me get your vocals sounding like this. Let me put some,
Mm-hmm.
reverb, delay and stuff on it like that. So I got more into the technical side because I was recording my own music. So like I was saying earlier, I went to college
Mm-hmm.
and I just had to learn it all. Like, and nobody had to, what I'm saying? Nobody had to tell me to go, figure this out. I just figured it out myself. So the
Right.
engineering side is like really my passion when it comes to music. The artistry is fun. I love being an artist. I love making music, but the engineering side is really like my passion. Like, cause nobody had to really tell me to go do it. You know what I'm saying? It was just
Right.
something I wanted to learn. And I got really good at it. So I feel like God directs your steps. So I was just like, if I'm getting good at this, you know what I'm saying, I'm starting to see business come out of it. I feel like God is opening them doors for me. So I need to continue to, you know.
Facts. And see, that's something a lot of folks don't know or don't talk about, but I definitely know a lot of people don't know. There is a huge difference between an engineer and a producer.
Yeah.
And now that we have you on, I want to ask if you could break it down to anybody that's listening that don't know nothing from nothing. How would you separate a producer compared to an engineer?
They really go hand in hand. I'm not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
Producing and engineering is like the closest when it comes to the music industry. If you wanted to put titles on it, like
Yeah.
I started producing probably like 2 years ago, and
Mm-hmm.
it's same thing as engineering.
Mm-hmm.
You lining stuff up on the graphs the same way. You knowing what tempos is, what keys is, and all that. Like, so it
Right.
really goes hand in hand. It's just, do you have that rhythm? Like producing, you gotta have that kind of like that bounce. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I know where this, these hi hats need to go. This kick, this 808. With engineering, you kind of gotta have that like ear. It's something wrong with this vocal. Something wrong with the way this is sitting. Something wrong with the way this is sitting.
Yeah.
Engineering is, basically self-explanatory. You engineering it, and then producing, you kind of just like if you got that bounce. You know what I'm saying?
So it's safe to say, in a nutshell, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm trying to dumb it down for people who might not know what a hi hat is. So is it safe to say like uh a producer creates it, an engineer perfects it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, see, you know what I'm saying? So
Perfect,
y'all listening,
perfect
y'all tune
explanation.
in.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, man.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
So
so
yeah.
it's same thing with like engineering, like you mixing it. So this another, things that they say in the industry. A mixing engineer, you'll mix it, and then a mastering engineer will put the icing on the cake. So it's the same
Right.
way we're producing. Like they'll send you the beat to the mixing engineer, and he kind of put the icing on your, the next layer on yours. Then the mastering engineer put the next layer, which is the icing on the top, and that's how it kind of goes. So.
See,
That's
man, you
dope.
got me want to be a producer, man, you know what I'm saying, or engineer.
Yeah,
Hey, look, I'm a little tech savvy now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
yeah.
um,
If you tech savvy, you can do it. Honestly,
yeah, and I got a
because
real
everything is kind of it's kind
Mhm.
of built for like technology nowadays. It ain't like you got to open up a keyboard and know how to play the piano. Nah, you can get on here and just put stuff together.
I got a quick question for you. So you said K Dot is your favorite like artist that helped you like, get into the music game because of, the different sound that he brought. But who is your favorite like producer or engineer in the game right now that you would say, I'm not gonna say that you emulate, but sometimes you watch them or you see how they do it or you see how they heard that, so you can basically, master your craft and whatnot.
Yeah, that's a good question. It's the same guy with Kendrick. His name Mixed by Ali. Man,
Ah,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah. Like YouTube and Google, all that's your best friend when it comes to like stuff that you don't know. So like I just studied some of the greats, and
Mm-hmm.
I like Ali because he like his stuff smooth. You know what I'm saying? He don't
Mm.
like super like he just he like stuff where it's easy to listen to. So
Right.
that's why Kendrick stuff be sounding so like smooth. He don't really have like the Travis Scott sound. You know what I'm saying? He don't have
Yeah,
like
yeah.
loud sound. He got like that just smooth, just consistent sound.
It's almost like it's a reflection of him though, because he's one of those people that keep a low profile too.
Mm-hmm.
Which
Facts.
takes me to my next point. You keep a very low profile, but you
Yeah,
work with
yeah,
some high end people. You know what I mean? Like if you try to Google Jae Major, you're gonna see some profiles pop up. But like you're not gonna see the full thing unless you're on his Instagram, which also happens to be a private account.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
like
yeah,
I like that though, because I feel like it was. I was gonna ask you, do you do that to kind of like silence critics or unwanted noise? You know what I'm saying? Um, like or because I know having your piece, no matter what you're doing, like in the entertainment industry, whether like I said, whether it's podcasting, music, sports, whatever it be, your piece is very important. But it ain't often that we see people who have a private account, but you're doing something that's major and completely out the norm, you know what I'm saying, in everyday living. Like you're surrounded, like I said,
yeah.
you're surrounded by some major figures on the daily. Um, so is that you having a private account or keeping that low profile, is that also tied to the way that you conduct your music? You know what I'm saying? Do you feel like you're more of a like is that what really steered you to I don't want to say what really, but steered you towards being an engineer? Like you're gonna collect your coins, but you behind the scenes type guy.
Yeah, man, I've been talking to myself about that lately. Especially when I first started engineering.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, I do like, being more behind the scenes. With being an artist, I tell people all the time they come in the studio, I was like, is you're gonna have to put yourself out there. The world gotta know who you are. They don't have to know who the producer is, they don't have to know who the engineer is, they have to know who that artist is at the end of the day. So
Facts.
like just being like my personality growing up, I always been by myself. I always, I never had to lean on somebody to, help me to do something.
Mm-hmm.
That's just me in general. I just like to, be by myself, get the work done. Because people can disappoint you, and you don't want to, have to have them conversations with people like, dang, bro, like I needed you to do this for me.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, I get it done myself. Like I'm saying, it ain't nothing against nobody else. It's just I know how I move. I know how I work. I can get it done
Yeah.
myself. So that's just me growing up.
Listen, you'll never
Hey,
let
you set
yourself
a
down.
bar right there.
Yeah, yeah,
Facts. A lot of folks can learn from that because you'll never let yourself down. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. What?
And if you do, it's you can't blame
It's on
nobody.
you. It's
It's
on
on you.
you.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Facts.
Kind of like you control how hard you work type thing. Um,
Mhm.
I
I
wanna
want
go ahead.
before we move forward, when you were sitting there saying that you liked that Kendrick's producer Ali, and you saying how it's smooth and it's not out there like Travis Scott's producer, that just ties into your doggone Cali roots, because anytime you turn on a Cali track, every single one of them is like real chill, and like you really feel like you can like go on the beach and just bump this shit like them back
Yeah.
in the days of the 90s with a
Mhm.
beatbox on your shoulder and a white tee.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't deny yourself, man. Like what I'm saying. The music you listen to is the music you like. Everybody got their own specific taste. That
Facts.
what I'm saying. I kind of had to. You learn once you actually start, being in this industry. And I
Mm-hmm.
tell people, like, I had somebody in the studio last night. He's like, "Man, this beat just don't sound like it's for me." I'm like, "Yeah, sometimes you gotta, what I'm saying, find what you sound good on, what your voice sound good on, and stuff like
Facts.
that." And then another artist was like, "Man, but you got to be versatile." I was like, "But you have to be honest with yourself.
Facts.
I'm not Chris Brown. I can't sound like Chris Brown as much as I want to, as much as auto
What?
tune works. I can't
Mm-hmm.
sound like Chris Brown. Why would I go try to make an R&B track trying to, you know what I'm saying?
No
You gotta be,
facts.
yeah. So just be honest with yourself when it comes to stuff like that.
Just tell him you're gonna make a silent Chris Brown album. Just sit on the camera. You know what I'm saying? Um.
it it's crazy how the Houston, I wouldn't say Houston, but I'll say Texas and Cali, the vibes are just so different from like Atlanta. Because I mean,
Oh,
I grew up in South Carolina and we had like Scooter, who was from Walterboro, then went to Atlanta and whatnot. So only thing I really listened to was really like Atlanta stuff and stuff from like really the South. But that Houston and Cali flow is different, boy.
Yeah.
Like I rock with it because it's just like I feel like that type of music is more my speed than anything. I listen to a little country here and now. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
I do too.
But the huh?
I do too. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah,
Bro,
country been on the come up for
man,
real.
listen.
You feel me?
And everybody want a little piece of it right now if it
Yeah.
ain't
Hey,
Pete.
listen.
Mm-hmm.
All I'm gonna say is this: we know a group of people started country music.
Yeah.
Gotta do your history.
I'm
Every,
not gonna lie though. Between like a Cali flow, a Texas flow overall, and a reggae flow, those are my top three. Like,
mm,
don't get me wrong, I like Atlanta and I love the music. Like, Lil Baby is probably one of my favorite artists out of Atlanta. It was Future, but then Lil Baby came on the scene.
yeah.
But that the vibe of like that four is like it's just different. And I always rock with reggae. I don't know why. It
You like
just
you like that feel good music.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cause I mean, I
for
feel
me,
like everything with the 808, I mean, it just gives you a different type of vibe.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I
I
started
feel
learning
like
about the music
for me,
a
it's
little bit.
like the music I listen to, man, my music taste is all over the place.
Hmm.
Just depending on the mood that I'm in, to be honest,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, it ain't no secret. I put it out there a couple episodes ago. I got saved, you know what I'm saying, not too long ago. So like now I've listened to gospel music before, but like now I incorporate it a whole lot more because I feel like, what you feed to yourself is eventually what's gonna pour out.
Oh yeah.
So if I'm
Oh,
listening to Young
absolutely.
Boy, if I wake up 6 in the morning and listen to Young Boy, somebody allowed to get slapped. They say the wrong thing. You know what I mean?
What? It's
but
real.
but
Real,
like
bro.
to piggyback off what you're saying with the Cali scene, because I lived in Cali for a year, playing JUCO ball, but a lot of that is like the hipster vibes. Like everybody out there is just real mellow, real chill. You know what I'm saying? We legal out there. So like if you want to be on some crazy stuff, a lot of them they go smoke, relax. You know what I'm saying? Weed is a
Yeah.
is a drug to make people relax. Literally, it's made to relax. They put it in medicine. So it's just
Yeah.
like you mix that with studio and music, you're gonna get a direct reflection of the vibe of just either
Mm-hmm.
A, just partying, good time, or B, we chilling by the beach. Like that's the sound that I get from Chicago, from Cali. Now
Yeah.
Texas, I like Texas music. The slow down stuff had to grow on me. When I was
Yeah.
younger and I used to hear that, skipping
Yeah.
immediately.
Chopped and
Mm-hmm.
screwed.
Like, I hate
Mm-hmm.
it, like because you got to think like T Pain made Chopped and Screwed, but it was different compared to when you would hear Bon B and all them boys do Chopped and Screwed. It
Yeah.
was like on some
I
lean,
actually, I gotta stop you. It was actually DJ Screw. I did my research on it. DJ
Mhm.
Screw started it in Houston, and
Oh
then
yeah, no,
everybody
no,
else.
yeah. I'm saying though,
Yeah,
the different version or like the different types of chopped and screwed.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
yeah,
Yeah.
Texas started that. Anybody that no, Texas started chopped and screwed. But it's like
yeah.
the further you go to the East Coast, chopped and screwed looks a little bit different compared to Texas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Facts.
But for me, growing up, Georgia kid, Atlanta music is there because we're surrounded by so many different states and everybody flock there. And so
Yeah.
Atlanta has its own natural like if you listen to artists from Atlanta, you can tell who's from Georgia. I ain't even gonna say Atlanta. You can tell who's from Georgia
Yeah.
and experienced the Georgia lifestyle, and then you can tell who came in with a whole different culture, come to Atlanta and adopt the Atlanta culture or the Georgia culture, and you blend the two. That's why Georgia bumps so much, and everybody there, and I'm sure Jay can tell you, with his experience, it
Hmm.
seems like in the music industry in Atlanta, you have people that beef, but when it comes to making money, oh, they go out the window.
Yeah.
Let's jump on this track together. Like we're gonna make some money off of this.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Whereas like you further out in Texas, one of the reasons why they struggle in the music industry or in Cali, you know what I'm saying? They don't really, not saying that they struggle, but like it's harder is because there are people that, oh, you from this set, I'm from that set.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They don't want to make no money together. And I think Sauce Walker spoke on it a couple years ago. He's like, man, the reason
Yep.
Atlanta thrives is because these boys putting pride aside. We trying to feed our family and get out of the hood. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Um, which brings me to Jay, who is some people actually, this the real and raw. This is true talk. You do name drop. Who
Okay.
are some artists that you have worked with? And some other like just because I'm trying to give the people more of a background on you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Give me a couple artists that you work with and a couple artists that you would hope to work with in the future. I'll say
Um,
about five and five. You know what I'm saying?
from artists that I work with in the studio,
Mm-hmm.
actually being in the studio with them. My first big one was either Big Scar or Snapdog. It was one of them two. As far as engineering, I done been around and
Rest in
been with
peace.
Lil Yachty in the studio and stuff like that. But as far as engineering wise, it was Big Scar, Snapdog, and then my next ones was Hurricane and Doughboy, the ones I just did.
Hey, that's
So I
major.
didn't been around the scene, but as far as like my what I'm doing as like my business and stuff, those is the main ones that I worked with. And then outside of the studio, like just working on vocals, Juice World, Rod Wave, and it's a couple more people in there. It's a couple more
Hey,
people in
I'm finna be hitting new tagline. Hey Jay, that's major. You know what I'm
there.
saying? When they come
Yeah,
at me.
yeah,
No,
man.
that's
So,
dope though, man.
but
So with you,
I done been on the scene. I didn't seen it all. When I was doing my rapping stuff, I had did
Mhm,
shows with Lil Baby, the
mhm.
Baby, um,
I
and
remember that. I
just
remember you hosted that.
being around, man. Yeah, I had performed up there in Virginia at Hampton University with Lil Baby and the Baby for their homecoming. So,
Mhm,
those good experiences and stuff like that. So I didn't been around.
mhm.
I didn't seen all of them, and people be like, how does it feel? Being around these type of art. They regular people, man. Especially if you're supposed to be in the
Facts.
room, they're not gonna treat you like what I'm saying, like a
Bro,
fan or nothing like that. They might be a little standoffish because they don't really know who you is, but they're not
right.
gonna treat you like no fans.
I
It's
tell
cool
That's
though.
everybody,
dope.
it's just like I can use two examples. The NFL,
Hmm.
we know tons of people in the NFL. They're
Hmm.
just like us. They're big kids with a lot of money. That's it.
Yes. Oh my
And
Facts.
gosh.
Hmm.
and when it comes to the music industry, one of the biggest artists that I was around, when I tried to do the music scene back in 2021, we almost, signing with Boosie, and I had been on stage with him, again through connections, and then, we're in his house. Boosie is exactly as advertised on the internet. He's a
Yeah.
big old bro. He's a big old kid, bro. Like he's gonna joke, and he is standoffish to an extent of who is this? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But all it takes is one person, shout out to V. He's like, oh yeah, they come here, doing the music thing, trying to see where we go from there. Oh, let me hear what y'all got. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and he gonna crack jokes. He gonna give you, you know what I'm saying, wise words. You know what I'm saying? So like, you see a different perspective of people. Cause I know on the internet, hey, he might say some things that'll be like, hey, bro,
Yeah.
but this that you like it, I love it. That's you. You can do that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But who are some artists that you want to work with in the future?
All of them, honestly.
I like that.
I want to work with every last one, especially doing the engineering side. You
Mm-hmm.
want to work with you want to get as many credits as you can.
Facts.
So I want to work with every last one. When people hear this, tap in with me. I'm on the
Nah,
come up,
facts.
man. I'm trying to lock in. Let's get it. I
Facts.
don't care if you're the local artist or the big or Kendrick at the Super Bowl. Lock in, man. Let's do it.
Well, I
All
might
right.
got an artist for you. Actually,
Oh yeah, let's
I might know
go.
somebody.
Hey,
Let's
He just
listen.
go.
moved to the A2.
Let's
I know.
go, man. I'm ready.
Well,
Look. See how everything come full circle because I know where you
I'm
going with
telling you.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, another question is an artist that's like not here with us anymore. Who would that be that you wish you could have worked with or had an opportunity to work with? It could be anybody.
Oh man.
I'll say give about three to five if you can.
Okay, that makes it a little easier.
Mhm.
Pop Smoke.
Oh, for sure.
Um,
Hey, that's a good one. That's a real good one.
Boy,
I'm not gonna lie, XXX Tentacion.
Like I said,
I liked his
nice.
stuff, man. I liked his stuff.
he was good.
Very versatile. So I'm gonna have to rock
Mhm.
with him. And then I'm gonna go old school. I'm gonna probably go Biggie.
I
Come
knew it.
on.
I knew it.
Come
I
on.
knew it. I
I'm gonna
knew
go
it.
Come
Biggie.
on, man.
I'm gonna
I,
probably
I
go
I
knew it.
Biggie.
one time for
Hey.
the big boys in the house, man.
Yeah, man.
I said in my
Um,
Hey,
head, I said he gonna say Biggie, one of them.
yeah,
got you,
yeah,
bro.
yeah, man. Yeah,
As long
you
as
know
you
what
didn't
I'm
say
saying?
Diddy.
Like, a lot of people, probably would have said Tupac. I feel
Mhm.
like Biggie would have been more like my speed, like my vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
Pac was more like aggressive. You know what I'm saying? His personality. I ain't talking about the music, but his personality. Like Biggie, I feel like he more laid back. Like let your vibe. You know what I'm saying? Kick stuff. talk. You know what I'm saying? Pop probably like, man, I ain't got time to talk, man. Like, either recording or I'm finna leave. Like, so, you know what I'm saying? I'm big on personalities.
You know, the crazy thing about Pac is, I hear a lot of people, because uh he went to like a performing arts school. So he made Jada Pickett, and a lot of people say he was an actor when it came to rapping. The same thing they said about Drake. Drake is
Yeah,
no
Mm-hmm.
secret. Drake he was an actor. You know what I'm saying? Now, may have that, probably helped his music. Probably. I wouldn't be surprised, because I've heard that man with several different accents.
yeah,
Again, but Pac might be the same way. And I just bring it up to say, like, because you hear those stories, and then you hear how people say, oh, Pac wouldn't like that, like Pac with this, Pac with that. But I definitely respect you saying Biggie, just because to me Biggie was extremely ahead of his time.
yeah,
Both artists
Very.
were, but Biggie specifically, just because the man made selling crack sound fun.
yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like with imagery and the word choices that he used, and then you get Pac on the scene, and Pac is speaking like a true revolutionary. You know what I'm saying? More like, y'all stand up. It's time to fight back type stuff. Biggie's
yeah,
saying, like, listen, you could be broke and you ain't got to do it my way, but this is how I did it. But once you make that money, let it go. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And like I said, he was Biggie was another one. You look back on all the videos, people love. He was like the life of the party. You know what I'm saying? Always chill,
Mm-hmm.
laid back. So I definitely can see,
mm-hmm.
with you saying him being up your speed, because Parky would have had to deal with Death Row. Suge Knight
Yeah.
coming up, man.
Yeah, and then
Hey,
you the company you keep. They probably was getting in his head and making him feel some type of, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got this
facts.
type of power. I'm around these, you know what I'm saying?
No,
Yeah.
facts.
Now, something a lot of people may or may not know about you, and I wanted to ask you this earlier. Uh, you made a gospel song, man, like a
Yeah,
gospel rap
yeah.
song. How did that happen? Like, what transpired to lead you to do that?
So, I've been big in my faith
Mm-hmm.
for a long time, and it's kind of hard to balance when you're trying to be in the music industry, and you know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying, to have a relationship with God, like you were saying. Like, if I wake up in the morning, listen to this, is how my day gonna go. So,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? I dabbled with a little gospel music back then when I
Mm-hmm.
was signed, but I really didn't pursue it, and it's just always been on my heart, always been on my mind. So like November 2024, I went on a water fast, and God was just like, no more secular music, like make music to glorify Him. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna stop with the secular music, and I'm gonna just make music for you. And honestly, that's when life changed. I'm not gonna lie, like my engineering stuff, and it'd be crazy because you'd be like, I thought this is what you wanted from me, but then God actually had a whole nother thing in line for you. And
Right.
Mm-hmm.
my engineering went crazy, bro. I started meeting so many people, bro, and I was
Oh
just like,
man,
man, I was like, I might not even be an artist. Like you were just testing me to see if I would do this, so you can, this will open up for me. So, man,
Facts.
like since November 2024, bro, it's been straight rocket ship going to the
Hear
top.
that.
that's
That's
what's up,
how that's
Brody.
how I feel about, with me and Mike and all of us starting this podcast. For so long, I was known as Eli the football player. You know what I'm saying? You wasn't gonna tell me I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't gonna have a 10-year career in the NFL. In high school, you probably could have said something, but when I got to college, I took off.
Yeah,
And so much so, I made myself, you know, to be that type of player. COVID happened and all these things. I get pro opportunities. I have contracts in front of me. I get injured. Now I got to reset. Who am I? And it took some years, you know what I'm saying, some real
yeah,
soul searching
it
to,
does.
like, cause you fight with yourself a little bit. You but
Facts.
God, you always ask yourself, but God, you understand, but you got to listen to him. And I was just hard headed for so long, but one day I was praying and it just hit me. Literally, I'm a people person. You know what I'm saying? I can talk to anybody. I mean, I can talk to a wall if you let me. But like, it led me to, like, okay, I want to do a podcast. Okay, next up, who's some like minded people who, we do the same thing. Anytime we talk, it's a good conversation. Whether I talk
Mm-hmm.
to them today and then go a month or two without talking to them, and it's like, what I'm saying, I put together that type of team, that type of banter, and it's like you said, like, doors are opening to now we having people come on. It's like you following guys' lead. You know what I'm saying? So that's major respect to that, man.
Yeah,
Because faith for me right now, faith is huge. Because again, when you ain't got nothing else, you got God. You feel me?
yeah, man.
Um,
Yeah,
Facts.
And I'm proud of you, bro. Like, I may not say it, but like, I'm genuinely proud of you. Like, I love seeing people win, especially who I consider my people. Like, this my dog been knowing bro since we were sandbox for real. You know what I mean? So you know what I'm saying. It's good to see you. To see the things that you work for, the things that you manifested, the things that you prayed for, and I'm pretty sure the things that you cried for. You know what I'm saying?
Man, what?
Cause man, hey, to see all of that happening for you, man, that's first of all, it inspires me personally. I want to tell you that when you came on. That inspires me. Stuff like that to keep going. Because again, I'm on that same journey. Me, Mike, Vic, John, and I might throw this out there. Both of those guys couldn't make it today. Some family things, nothing crazy, had a daughter, Vic has a son. So they weren't able to make it. But, we all one in the same, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So your story inspires me in the sense of like to keep going. You can manifest it. I used to see I seen BMF this quote, see it, touch it, attain it. We see it all the time. You gotta go and touch it, pause, and then you just attain it. So yeah, that's dope, man. The guy, you let God lead you, so to speak. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
Facts.
Now, one of the things, because I see the time, looking at the time, you know what I'm saying? One of the things I wanted to ask you, how did this whole Reggie link up happen? I see you're now like his main engineer. How did that happen?
Man, first, I just want to say it was God, bro. Like, so,
Thanks.
I had picked up a camera. A camera just got placed in my hands. I didn't have to pay for it, none of that. And my homeboy, he hit me up. He was like, "Man, I want you to, shoot some stuff for me or whatever." And nah. Hold on. Let me make sure my story right. My boy Buddha. Okay, look. My boy Buddha. So I did some engineering work for my boy Buddha a long time ago in this studio I used to work in. And he hit me out of nowhere. He's like, "Man, I see you, working with the camera. I see you working with the studio and stuff like that. Like, I want you to come around, uh, and mess with me. Like, I got some stuff going." And I was like, okay, I'm gonna see what you got going and like that. He brought me to the studio. They want to bring me in as an engineer, working in a studio, and then I got the camera and all that stuff. So ended up shooting some film for him. And then probably like a week later, he hit me and said, "My boy Hurricane Wisdom coming into town, and they need a studio to use." And I was like, "No, why don't they just use y'all studio?" He was like, "Nah, they want one for the Airbnb. Do you got like a portable studio?" And then I was like, "Man, I'll pack all this up and what?
Yeah.
I'll put it in the suitcase." So I ended up packing it up. Ended up going to the Airbnb. And man, after that, I just started meeting people. Like, I met this guy named ABGR, Lil Corey, Fat Mac, that was at the crib and stuff like that. And I ended up shooting them with the camera and stuff. So I was like, man, this is crazy. Like, at that time, I'm thinking the camera is my next, move. Like, I've been doing engineering so long, I started shooting, artists, getting big artists to shoot and stuff like that. So I'm like, the camera, my next move. And then Hurricane Wisdom, they asked me to buy my studio and stuff like that. So I ended up selling them my studio, getting all new equipment and stuff like that. And then Wisdom came back in town and he was like, where that engineer that was at the Airbnb, he was like, "Man, tell him to pull up for Reggie. I need him to record me on Reggie stream." So shout out Hurricane Wisdom. And brought me in, you know what I'm saying? And I tell people like, you gotta step out on faith, bro. Like, I had a lot of people because they was using my studio. And they on tour with Boss Man D-Lo, and like, I don't know where my equipment is. Like, it's literally a whole week that went by. I don't know where none of my stuff at. And there's people in my ear talking about, "Bro, they gonna run off with your stuff. They gonna all this and all that and all this." And they ended up paying me for it. And I just be like, I tell people, man, you got to, even if I was to take that L, I took it knowing like it could possibly put me in the, you know what I'm saying, into a better opportunity, better position. So I was just like, man, I'ma just just wait it out, see what they talking about. They ended up buying it from me. Then Hurricane ended up calling me to go to Reggie house, and I'm like, bro, this is crazy, bro. Like, life was
Facts.
just moving super fast. So shout out to Wisdom, shout out to Reggie for trusting me.
Facts.
Hey, Wisdom, Reggie, we're waiting. Hey, I gotta go ahead and slide that out. We're waiting, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? But that's dope, man. So I know, like I said, you told me earlier, you got a studio session. This will be my last question. I just want to hear your worst studio experience with an artist. You don't got to say the name. What's the worst experience you had working with somebody? You was like, yeah, dude, when you leave, or you had to kick somebody out of studio. Like, hey, bro, come on, bro, you wasting time.
Man, and I got love for this guy. His name's Skizzo. That's his rap name. Yeah. I have love for this guy because he's dedicated. He's gonna, you know what I'm saying? He's gonna do him. Like, he loves music. He's dedicated to it. But he got schizophrenia. And man, when I tell you I done had some stories with this, bro, this guy will pull up to the studio and just be outside the studio on some crazy stuff. And you like, bro, like, what are you doing? But you got to understand he got the mental thing going on. So yeah, man, he done did some crazy stuff. I'm talking about butt naked, no clothes on, like, yeah, man. My boy Skizzo, man. I got love for my boy, but yeah, he had to be the worst one.
Hey, it's the funniest part though. I said, you ain't got a name drop. He said, man, my dog Skizzo.
Cause he know, and he always, we always keep it real with each other. I always keep it real with him, and that's my boy. Like, he already know what's up, so it's all love, man. If he see this, it's all love, man.
He gonna see it, man. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get this out everywhere, man. I know I told you that was the last question. I just wanted you to tell the people, like, where can they find you? They wanted to get at you, you know what I'm saying, via Instagram, whatever, you know what I'm saying. Go ahead and drop your platforms out there for the people that's listening.
Yeah, man. It's Jae Major on Instagram. It's Jae Major on TikTok, and Major the engineer on Twitch. So, you know what I'm saying? Anything with Major in it, man, you're gonna probably see me.
Yeah, man. Hey, man, so that's how we gonna kind of smooth sail up out of this thing, man. It was a good conversation. Your story, man, to go from literally, like I said, if you when you guys tune in, childhood prodigy in football, you know what I'm saying, was that guy, you know what I'm saying? Football was the thing for us. Yeah. To pivot from football to get into music to, you know what I'm saying, even giving your life to God and like to see where you are now and becoming one of the major pioneers as far as the engineer in Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? The sky's the limit, bro, and I look forward to seeing all the success for you. When you go on tour, you need extra help, security. You know, my dog over here hit 5, you know what I'm saying? I'm a smooth sit foot, you know what I'm saying? Sit one with my Timbs on, you know what I'm saying? Hey, if you need that extra body, you know what I'm saying? I'm only, but nah, seriously though, man, we locked in for real, man. I'm only one call away. One thing I'm gonna go ahead and put this on the airway, I will do better, you know what I'm saying, as far as like just reaching out from time to time. Just because like that's something that's been on me lately, just, moving forward, people that who, I know that we good people, you know what I'm saying? Making sure I stay in touch. So yeah, man, anything you ever need, reach out, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully we get you back on here later on in life, you know what I'm saying? When you got them million followers and stuff, you know what I'm saying?
And I had to stop by, man. I had to stop by, man. Like, I wasn't, you know what I'm saying? I had to carve out a little time, you know what I'm saying? But it was well worth it, you know what I'm saying? I had to make sure I show love to my boy. And because, people reaching out to me, showing love to me, so you gotta get the same thing back, bro. You can't be, you know what I'm saying? So
definitely appreciate for having you on, my boy, for real.
Yeah, facts, man.
Real insightful, man. So yeah, man, y'all tune in for episode 9, The Real Understands Everything, aka True Talk. And that's how we're gonna end this thing.
Yes, sir.